I've got a 2021 Jeep Wrangler. It's the Unlimited Sport, and electronic ignition. The car was in my garage, and I'm the original owner of the car. I drove it brand new off the lot. It's got about 40,000 miles on it. Runs like a charm. Everything great. It was in the garage. I jumped in the car to pull it out of the garage. Electronic ignition works fine, right? I got the notice that says key fob not detected, which I've seen a time or two, over the time that I've had it. And usually what happens is I press the button again and it starts right up. And that's exactly what happened this time. I pull it out of the garage, run back in the house, and I pull it out of the garage, turn the car off. Everything's fine. Had to come and grab some extra stuff. 10 minutes goes by, go back out, hop in the car, push the electronic ignition. It clicks. A lot of times like you'd hear with the dead battery, right? But all the electrics work fine. Radio comes on, it charges all the gauges, how it winds them all the way over, and then
Right.
they come back again.
Yep.
The windows go up and down. Everything is fine. And so, but the engine won't start. And I, hit the button again to turn the ignition off, so that it didn't just keep trying, the electronic to run. But then tried it again, let it sit for a minute, same result. So I thought, well, maybe somehow I did something. I'll let it sit, right? So 15 minutes goes by, I go back out to the Jeep to try it again, same result. It clicks almost like battery is dead, but all the electrics work. Everything is fine. And coincidentally, it's basically stock. I've upgraded the headlights when I first bought it, but I'm not. There's not a lot of stuff pulling anything off the electrical system. There's not like a lot of extra load.
Okay.
So this last time though, when I go try to start it up, I get warning light. My check engine light comes on, stays on solid, and I got on the control center. I get a reading that an airbag reading. Check your airbag, your driver's side airbag sensor. So shut it off. Turns off just fine. Final time, like right after I went online and found you guys. Here, I'll try it one more time. I go out to try it one more time. It won't start, but I don't get all those error readings. But I still have the same issue. So I've just left it there, and that kind of gets us where we're at now.
Okay.
I don't have a multimeter, so I wasn't able to check voltage on the battery.
Okay.
So I thought maybe the battery's got enough juice that it's driving all the electrics but not turning the car over, but that doesn't sound right to me either.
Actually, so what happens is when the battery goes bad, it can have the surface charge could be okay. So 12.6 is a fully charged battery. It could still be 12.2, 12.3, 12.4, 12.5, 12.6. And when you go to start it, when there's a load on that battery, there's a bad cell inside the battery and it drops down to like 6 volts or something like that. And that's when it clicks. So if that's the case, if that were what is really going on, then you just got a bad battery. So, but we don't know. We haven't obviously checked it with the voltmeter, but really, before I start telling you need a $1,000 computer or something really expensive, absolutely, we definitely need to go after that battery.
Well, I popped the hood right after all this just to take a look, and the only thing that I noticed that's a little bit abnormal is that, to be honest with you, I probably haven't been under the hood in several months. Maybe 4 months. And the last time I was under the hood was just to put bug juice in, for fluid.
Right.
So, and I noticed though on my negative battery, I've got oxide buildup. Like the blue foam looking.
Okay.
Stuff.
Yep.
I didn't think that's too. It's not a whole bunch. It's relatively recent buildup. I know it'll clean off pretty easy. That couldn't be doing anything, could it?
It sounds harmless, but anytime we see that, that means the battery hasn't been touched or maintained recently. So, that could indicate something more. Yeah, it's definitely worth looking into.
Yeah, but and honestly, I've done. Regular oil changes, everything else on it. I don't take it really out four-wheeling. Most of the miles on it are highway miles.
Right.
So I don't. speed up on it. I don't drive it real hard. I haven't done though, and it's been in my mind. I need to go do the scheduled maintenance that's due.
Right.
But I've got my brother's actually on his way over here. Should be here in 45 minutes. He's got a multimeter.
Okay.
Because of course my multimeter is with my tools and it's in my daughter's car right now. So
Okay.
I don't have my multimeter, so I'm going to check that next. But do you think I'm on the right track, or you think it's battery, huh?
Well, that's what it sounds like. Yeah, but we need to check it. So
Yeah.
it very well could be the battery. Yeah, based on what you're telling me. Let's just say I'm wrong. Everybody always wants to know what else could it be. So, and then if that's the case, we could have a bad ignition switch. We could have a bad computer on board the vehicle. We could have a bad connection. We could have a bad fuse box. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, it's relatively new. You'd have to do some investigating, check for codes in the computer, check the grounds, check, power going into the fuse box. So it does get a little more technical pretty quick. So you can check the fuses, but I think you might find something before we get to that point.
Yeah. Well, I'll check. I mean, it's funny, as you just called me, I literally had jumped online just thinking, well, maybe I just get a new battery just in case,
Right.
But which I hope would be the issue, and it's just a quick and easy fix. But,
Right.
And there's been like I said, the vehicle performs fine. I've had no problems mechanically, electrically, nothing with the computers. I tend to get when the weather cools off, and my tire pressure drops a little bit.
Yep.
The sensor will be sensitive, but
Yep.
other than that, nothing. I mean, it's my first Jeep. I've been real happy with it.
Well, and let me tell you this, that further supports my theory that there's nothing major wrong with the vehicle. We don't have a computer issue. We don't have something very, very complex. It's just something super duper basic that's being overlooked, which is likely the battery.
Yeah. Well, I jumped on YouTube too to start seeing if anybody else had similar problems. I found problems where the Jeep will crank but not start, and that's not my issue. So I couldn't find anything that really duplicates it. And I guess I just got a little concerned when all of a sudden, it seemed like the computer did go a little crazy. But
well, put it this way. I mean, you're right. I would agree, but here's the thing. You can't really check. We can't really go any further until we know that the battery is good. Electronic components, the sensors, the electronic motors, the computers, all that, the relays, nothing acts normal when it's low on battery voltage. So
yeah,
we could very well, if we get into some heavy electrical testing, we could just trace it back to a low voltage problem, which could just simply be the battery. Now, the battery may be okay. We could have a low voltage problem due to a bad connection, but again, we still need a voltmeter before we can even do that. If the battery's good and checks out okay when we do this, run this test, and it stays above 12 volts when someone tries to crank it over, then we just go right to the fuse box and we make sure that the fuses on the main fuse box have full battery voltage when this happens. And if not, we got a bad connection somewhere after that battery, as long as that battery checks out good.
And I'm fine to check the battery voltage even before I clean, because it's going to take me a little while to get that oxide cleaned off.
Mm-hmm.
But I can still go ahead and I can perform an accurate check if he gets here before I have a chance to get all that cleaned off.
Yeah, you can do that. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'm cautiously optimistic on it, and it just seems weird because it started right up in the garage.
Mm-hmm.
10 minutes later, the problem hit. So that's the only thing that I thought. Man.
Let me tell you a secret. So that's what electrical components do when they go bad. They can act up consistently or inconsistently, and with no rhyme or reason. It will work just fine one moment, and then it may not work. Another. I mean, we see this all the time at the shop.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. This doesn't surprise me one bit. So we'll start at the basics. We'll start at the battery, and then just go from there.
All right, that sounds good. Like I said, I'll have a multimeter in less than an hour, so I'll try to take it from there and see what happens.
All right, good luck. Just reply back online if you have any questions or if anything comes up. I'll be happy to help. Okay.
All right, man. I appreciate it a lot. Have a great night.
All right, thanks a lot. You bet. You too.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.